Everyone, thank you so much for joining the Maximize Your CODiE Award Experience webcast. There's a number of people jumping on right now, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you miss anything or have any questions, please do feel free to throw them in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer them throughout the process or throughout the webcast, but I might end up saving them till the end just to make presenting a little bit easier. But I'm so glad you all are able to join. My name is Jennifer Baranowski, and I'm the president of the CODiE Awards. And today we'll just walk through how to set yourself up for success throughout the evaluation process and beyond. So my goal is really to give you a clear picture of the CODiE Award process and share a few practical tips that will help you get the most value out of participating in this program. And as I mentioned, I'll try and keep this short yet informative and hopefully give you a few minutes back to your day if we can, but I want to make sure everyone's questions are answered. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here's a quick overview of what we'll cover. First, we'll provide a just quick overview of the CODiE Awards and what sets them apart from other programs. And since most of you joining today have already nominated for the 2026 CODiE Awards, the majority of our time will be spent on going over the first round judging process and demo experience. That's really the heart of the CODiEs and what makes this program unique. So we want to make sure you feel prepared and confident going into that process. We'll also walk you through the timeline and share a few tips for having a great experience with your judges and talk about how to leverage that recognition you receive throughout the process. And of course, we'll leave time at the end for questions. So if anything comes to mind, again, just drop them in the chat and we're happy to answer them as they come in or save them to the end. So let's just do a quick overview on what the CODiEs are. So this year, we're celebrating our 40th year of recognizing innovation in technology, which means we were established in 1986. So as you can imagine, the tech scene looked a lot different back then than it did now. So over the decades, the awards have become widely respected due to both their rigor and their track record for recognizing disruptive technologies. And what's unique about the CODiEs is they actually recognize both established leaders and emerging innovators, which creates a really dynamic and exciting program every year. And so it's not unusual to see startups competing alongside global technology companies. And I'll share a bit more about how we do that a little bit later when we talk about the judging process. So really with the CODiEs, there are three main characteristics that really define these awards and set them apart from other programs. The first is the live demo process. So instead of simply reading about a product in a written submission, judges actually interact with it. So they get to see the product in action, ask questions of your team, and engage directly with the team behind the products. So that's really exciting for both the nominees and the judges alike, and why people tend to come back year over year to participate in this program. The second is transparency. So nominees actually receive the exact rubric the judges use to evaluate the product. There are no hidden criteria or mystery scoring systems. The judges actually provide written feedback, which many companies actually find to be one of the most valuable pieces of this program for both their product teams and their marketing teams. Great question. I just got a question that came in and asked where we see the rubric. We actually post that on our website, and I can throw that. I wonder if I can. I'll put it into the chat later, or actually, it'll be on the screen. So all of the category descriptions are posted on our website, and when you expand the category description, you'll actually see bullets underneath, and those are the exact criteria that the judges are using to evaluate your product. Great question. Keep them coming. So that's the transparency piece. And then the third piece that really sets us apart is that industry validation. So our judges are professionals who work in the tech sector in various verticals that are aligned with the categories. So when a product earns recognition, it's really being evaluated by people who truly understand the challenges and opportunities in the space, which is really valuable. We've also been around for a really long time, so people know and understand the value behind the CODiE Awards and that it's not just, you know, picking favorites and things like that because someone paid more. We don't operate that way. All of our costs are upfront, baked into the nomination, and that's the way this program has worked for since the inception. And so for many companies, the CODiEs are not just about winning. They're actually an opportunity to showcase innovation, connect with industry experts, and gain recognition for the work your team has built. And so this can really be an incredibly helpful tool for boosting morale within the company, for recruiting talent, for fundraising, for sales, product development. So the list really goes on. Now, let's talk a little bit about the judging process and how it works. So we have two rounds of evaluation as part of the CODiE Awards. So as soon as the nominations close, the process moves into the first round expert review stage. So that one runs April 13th to June 5th, and this phase accounts for 80% of your overall score. It's the most significant part of the evaluation process and is also what determines the finalists. So during this period, you'll be assigned two expert judges to review your product via live demo. Those demos can be recorded if that's better for your team. And if you're nominating in multiple categories, you'll receive two expert reviewers per category you're entered in. So keep that in mind. If you're going for six categories, you're going to have 12 judges to coordinate with. Um, and I did get a great question in the chat. So asking that if we submit a demo in the application, if it'll be judged in a live demo environment. So what I actually recommend doing, just to not double the work, is you don't have to enter the demo in the application if you want to have a live demo. So if you're looking to do a live demo, which most people do, I would coordinate with the judges you're assigned to conduct that live demo and just record it and place a link to the demo in your nomination. We actually keep those open for editing or the majority of the fields, so you can do that. And then if one judge needs a recorded demo, they can go and grab it from your nomination. So it's all ready in there. So that way you don't have to do double work. Great question. Okay, so going back to this slide, that first round, like I mentioned, that's where the live demos happen. The judges will be scoring your entry against the category specific judging rubric, and they'll provide written feedback, which we'll share with you after the judging concludes. And so that round actually determines who the finalists are. And then we'll send all the finalist assets to help you promote your finalist status. The second round review is a quick community vote that accounts for 20% of the overall score. People often ask us who is invited to that community vote, and it's actually the entire community of approved first round reviewers. So these are experts who have completed the application to judge the awards. We generally have about 2,000 people that apply to judge the CODiEs. It's a big program. It's a big group of people that are really excited to review these products. And those can include developers, consultants, investors, teachers, administrators from a wide range of tech companies and sectors. So that gives you kind of a breakdown of the two parts. Great question in the chat on how the industry votes are conducted. So we actually have a system that you all have probably already interacted with, that voters are invited to enter into, and they'll see every single category and select the one product that they think should be named the winner. Like I said, it's a really quick vote. We only give them access to, the overview information on your product. This is for the second round. The They'll see your logo, they'll have the link to your website and all of your social posts. So it's very quick, and you don't have to do anything extra for that. And then um, this is another great question. So, someone in the chat asked if you choose to submit a recorded demo over a live demo, if that docks your score. And the answer is no. Actually, some judges prefer that just because our judges are based all over the world. Um, Especially like in our ed tech categories, we have teachers who are in the classroom during the workday. So it can be really difficult for them to jump on a live demo because they could be in class. If that's the case, they might ask for a recorded demo, and that's a great option. What I recommend if you do opt for going straight recorded demo, one, just let us know and let us know that your demo is in the nomination. Send that link to your judges, and then ask them if they have any questions on it or want to jump on a call to go over any questions. That way you still have that nice line of communication open with your judges, and and you feel like you're still getting a nice fair shake. So they'll continue on that way. And I'll keep monitoring the chat, so keep the questions coming. Okay, so here is the timeline on what to expect. So, over the coming months. So, as I mentioned, we're currently in the final stages of the nomination period. If you haven't already nominated, make sure to get those in by March 20th, so we can start the pairing of the judges. It's a labor of love. It takes a while, so bear with us, but we will get you a link to your judges on April 13th. So that's the official start of the judging process. On the 13th, you'll actually receive an email asking you to log into your nominee portal. And that's the same place that you're going for, entering into the competition. So just keep that link handy. We'll, of course, have it posted on our website, but just make sure that you're checking it often. And once you log in, you'll see a little piece that says view your judge assignments. Make sure to look at those immediately and just reach out to us if you see any conflicts of interest, any potential problems. We are here to help and answer those questions and make sure you feel like, you're getting the best possible experience you can as part of this. So we do ask you to notify us as soon as possible, like within the first couple of weeks, if there are any issues. The sooner the better, so we can address them. If you notify us after the finalists are announced, is nothing we can do about it. So please do let us know as soon as possible, and we'll get everything worked out for you. So when you reach out to the judges, or as soon as you get your judge assignments, do start reaching out to them to schedule those demos. We have 6 weeks for this first round review, but that time can go very quickly. I know everyone has busy schedules, and you're coordinating with other professionals that also have busy schedules. So do your best to get those scheduled as soon as possible. We do ask that all of the demos be scheduled by May 22nd. Ideally, you would have them completed by then, just so you can go into June with a clean slate. All of the judges need to have their scores to us, but no later than June 5th. So the sooner you can give them a demo or give them a recorded demo, the better. And then we can always monitor it. So do keep those deadlines in mind. I also want to note that sometimes communications go into spam. So do check your spam filters, make sure that nothing is getting stuck there. Um, and if you're noticing that you're not getting responses from judges, let me know. Just email that info@codieawards.com email address, and someone on our team will work with you to make sure that we you know, get you connected with your judge. And if there's any problems to where the judges need to drop out or whatever, we'll get you a new one. So just the biggest piece is keep us looped in to any potential problems and we'll get them fixed for you. So on June 17th is when the finalists are announced. And that's when we'll also send you your written feedback from your judges. You are more than welcome to use that feedback in any marketing communications. Usually people attribute it to like a 2026 CODiE Award judge or expert reviewer. If the judge says you can use their name, you're welcome to just check with them as a professional courtesy. And oops, sorry about that. And then we'll also send finalists uh you know press pack or press kit, so you'll get a finalist logo, a press release template, some ideas on how to promote on your social media, how to notify your team, all of that good stuff. So just keep an eye out for an email from us with that. On June 17th is when we'll kick off that community vote. Again, there's nothing you need to worry about for that. The heavy lifting is done with that first round review, and that will go through July 3rd. So it's a quick vote, much shorter time period. But that's once we have that finalized, we'll be able to identify the winners and announce them virtually on July 15th. So that will be online. You don't have to worry about traveling anywhere. And we'll again send the winners press packs with the winner logo and all that good stuff. The logo usage, all of that is included in the nomination fee, so you don't need to worry about paying any extra fees or attending any expensive gala. It's all baked into this. And then I will note that in September, we're launching a Leadership and Impact Awards, which recognizes individuals and teams making meaningful contributions to the industry. So that's a different judging process, different timeline. So I'll share more information on those later this year. But if you're curious and you want to learn more, then I'll also send out a link to where you can find that information on our website now. So continuing on. Okay, this is just the, portal that you know and have probably already been in. So this is exactly where you'll find your judge information once we ask you to log in. So just bookmark that. So now for some good tips on what the judges are looking for. As I mentioned, each judge is evaluating your product using the set rubric. So they're not comparing you against another product in the category. They're actually comparing you to the rubric. This makes it so the startups and the giants can compete in a fair environment, which is one of the things that's super exciting about this program. And that rubric focuses on a few key areas, and we encourage you to craft a custom demo aligned with the posted judging criteria. So one of the first area is impact. So how effectively does the product solve a real problem for its users? Second is functionality and usability. So is the product well designed, intuitive, effective in real world scenarios? This doesn't mean flashy. It just means functional. So don't be stressed out if you don't have like the prettiest UI. That's okay. We want to make sure it's effectively solving a problem. And third is innovation. So does the solution bring something new to the market or advance how problems are being solved? So again, when you're preparing for your demo, please keep those evaluation criteria in mind and make sure your presentation clearly connects back to them. I also highly recommend sending a follow-up email to the judges, just outlining how the product aligns to each of the judging criteria and send over any other requested information to the judges. Um, so that's really, really helpful. Another great question in the chat is if we're going to share this recording, absolutely. We will send a follow-up email here. We'll also put it on our YouTube channel, and I'll link it in our newsletter that will be going out next week. So if you aren't already getting those, then please let me know, and I'll make sure you get this sent. I'll also post it on LinkedIn in the CODiE Award LinkedIn channel if you're not already part of that. Great question. Keep them coming. So now let's go over how to craft, whoops, a winning demo. What is going on here? Come on. There we go. So here are some do's and don'ts to crafting your demo. The most effective demos always start with a story about the problem your product solves. So instead of jumping straight into features, help judges understand the real world challenges your users are facing and why your solution matters. From there, walk through customer workflows or scenarios so judges can see how the product operates in practice instead of just in theory, and try and show the experience from the perspective of an actual user. That's really, really helpful for people that are evaluating. And if anyone on the webcast has been a judge in the past and wants to, throw out some tips, I'm happy to share them too. And then it's also really important to connect what you're demonstrating back to the judging criteria. So again, highlight how the product delivers meaningful outcomes and share exactly point by point on how you're aligning with those judging criteria. The judges are smart, they will be able to identify it, but it's really helpful to just continue to bring it back to that piece. And then another key thing is make sure to leave time for questions. I know some people get really, really excited to show every single feature that their product does, which I love. I love passion. But do make sure that you're leaving enough time to have that meaningful interaction with the judge. Make sure that they're understanding all of the why behind it, what the story is, give them some data to work from. And I will say, if a judge expresses interest in an area of the product that isn't being evaluated, feel free to follow up with them to explore that angle. It's okay if a judge ends up becoming a customer. I've seen it happen many times in the past. Just we don't want to take that time away from what you're being evaluated on. So that's always a great opportunity for a follow-up. And another kind of pro tip is if you can provide product access for the judges to explore on their own, they usually love that. So this is especially helpful if it's a game category or something like that. Or, if it's in education, maybe a teacher can provide access to a student or something like that. So that way you get some hands-on work to see how the students are enjoying it. So those are some great do's. And then for don'ts, I can't stress this enough. Do not deliver a sales pitch. It really needs to be custom. So again, that you align to the judging criteria. I'd also tap in a seasoned presenter who knows the product well. Do not have a junior salesperson conducting this. They may be great, but we really want someone who knows the product well, that can speak to the value, is passionate about it. If they can share what they love most about the product, that's really helpful. So that's great. I would also recommend having two or fewer presenters. If you have more, it can get kind of overwhelming for the judges. So keep that in mind. And then Another don't is don't focus solely on features. So instead, show how, or if you do, show how they drive optimal outcomes. So this is where customer stories and real workflows or data really come in handy. So it's important to show what it does, but make sure you get back to that root cause. I'd also advise against going into deep technical rabbit holes. I know being in the tech space, we get really excited about this, but we really want to focus on what it does and not necessarily how the technology behind that. So if a judge really wants to geek out and learn about it, that's great. But again, that can be done outside of the demo. We just want to make sure you're showing what you're being evaluated on. And then please do keep the demos to 60 minutes or less. Most are 20 to 40 minutes, depending on the complexity of the product. Some of the products are really, really complex with lots of features. Some are really quick to get through. So the key is leave time for questions and do follow up with your judges afterwards. It's really, really helpful. And then one thing that the judges have told me that they want to communicate is just know that they're rooting for you. They volunteer because they care about discovering and recognizing meaningful innovation. So think of the demo, again, less as a pitch and more as a conversation about the work your team has built. And then another question in the chat is, do the industry-specific categories have judges who work in that industry? Yes, we do our best to pair judges with the categories in a meaningful way. So every single judge that applies has to share exactly why they're qualified to judge each category. I will say I'm blown away by the caliber of these judges and their backgrounds. And a lot of them will, we do see some judges have changed industries. So they may have started as a teacher and then went to ed tech and then, went and got their PhD or something like that. So we have a wide variety of backgrounds, but we definitely make sure that the judges are aligned with the category and can share the back up of why they're assigned there. So great question. And now let's continue on. Okay. So now we'll chat a little bit about how to maximize the recognition you get through the CODiE Awards. So participating in the CODiEs can create meaningful value across your organization throughout the CODiE process. So just by entering, it's really a great opportunity to benchmark your product and celebrate your team. And it also really forces you to tighten up the language on how you describe your product and the impact it makes. So that can be a really valuable exercise that we don't always pause and refresh. So that in itself can be really helpful. It's also nice to have a demo that really shows the why. And if you can get an executive to kind of share the story behind it. We love to highlight those stories as part of the CODiE Awards. So if you have a write-up from, the founder or the founding team on the why behind, we're happy to highlight those. So just, again, email info@codieawards.com with that, and we'll be in touch to go over how we promote those sort of stories. And then again, during the demo process, many companies gain valuable feedback that can help inform the product development. And that I will say a lot of the time, the feedback from the judges is overwhelmingly positive. So you can use that in any of your marketing materials. Again, I advise to use you can say it's, written by a third or a 2026 expert reviewer or something similar, unless you get permission from the judge to use that. And I will say the conversations with the judges can sometimes lead to new connections and opportunities. Some people have mentioned that they've gained new customers, new partnerships, new funding opportunities as a result of the demo process. So when you're going into that 1 hour, just know that you can see a significant value from it. Um, and then, so another thing is, should the or the product be named a finalist or winner, you'll have several significant marketing opportunities. So, of course, you'll receive the official badges, press release templates, promotional resources that you can use across communications. As I mentioned, I like to spotlight finalists and winners, and do thought leadership pieces. So we're happy to work with you on that. And then you'll want to send out your own press release. You'll want to put the logos on product pages, in sales decks, and investor communications. And we've also heard of a lot of teams actually sending out internal memos, just sharing that their finalists, the work of the team is being recognized by a third party. And that can really go a long way. It's also really helpful if you're recruiting new talent. So definitely do share your CODiE Award win far and wide. And then so that, as I promised, is short and sweet, but that's what I wanted to make sure that you had for information. So if you have any additional questions, please do put them in the chat. I'm happy to help. Um, and okay, another great question. So yes, I will be sending a link to this recording that I'll share after we conclude. Um, and okay, it says yes. So definitely share this recording with anyone on your team who will be part of the process. It's helpful information for them. Another good question is if you can schedule both judges on the same call, and the answer is yes, with an asterisk. It can be incredibly difficult it can almost be more of a time suck to try and find a time that works for your team and two really busy judges that may or may not be in the same time zone. So, my recommendation for that is if you choose to set one demo time, record the demo in the event one of the judges doesn't make it. So if, one of them doesn't show up, you can email the recorded demo to that judge that no showed and ask them if they have any questions. And if you have any concerns, like you feel like they haven't viewed the demo or what have you, let us know. We will intervene, and make sure that your your evaluation is completed properly. So any other questions from the chat? I'm happy to answer them. And if anything else comes up, you think of anything after the fact, please do email us at info@codieawards.com. Again, for your to-do list, don't forget to nominate by March 20th. Make edits another important note is you can make edits to the nominations all the way up to that March 20th date. I do keep the nominations open for editing throughout the process. There are certain fields you cannot edit for obvious reasons, but if you have changes to the product description or anything like that, you can certainly edit them throughout the process. Or if you have new data or things like that that you would like to make available to the judges, you're welcome to add those throughout the process. There will be certain times that the system will be down because we're making major changes or something like that, but we'll keep it open. And then again, let us know how the process is going. If you have any questions, concerns, we're here to help. That's what we're here for, and we want to make sure you're having the best experience you possibly can with this program. And then one thing to note is every year we enlist our entire CODiE ecosystem to help us identify the right categories for the next year. So you'll notice that the categories change year over year to match the market, and we do that with the help of our incredible community. So if you are interested in being part of that, reach out, let us know. We're happy to have you participate and can share what's involved with that. Um, Again, we want this to be a super strong program for years and years and years to come. And that's how we do it, is with the help of all of you. So a couple more questions came in the chat. Um, so one question is if we recommend having a presentation prepared and then swap to the product. Okay, to share the demo. Okay. Some people do just dive straight into a demo. Some people do have prepared slides. I've seen both done effectively. It's really up to you. If you want to do a couple of background slides to help with a visualization before, that can be really nice if it's done well. I just would discourage having a gigantic slide deck instead of, walking through the live demo. So if your team is more comfortable going off of a deck, that's fine. Just make sure you do some live stuff too. You can also use presentation slides to show some statistics or visual show them a visual of the user or things like that. It's really open and it can be done a variety of ways. And like I said, some people really focus on giving the judges access to the product if it's possible. I know most products are locked down at this point, but if there's a way to do that, that's really valuable as well. So you could kind of do a combination. So great questions. If anything else comes up, like I said, please feel free to reach out. I'll give you a few minutes back to your day. I mean, 5 minutes, but hey, whatever, something better than nothing. And I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to working with you all. So, thanks again.